name is Joshua File, and my family and I, we go to Cornerstone Presbyterian Church, and I'm a member in the discipleship program. So this discipleship program consists of a book. It's more of a workbook, but it's about 300 pages because it's very narrative, and the book has questions in there, so I'll call it a workbook. The book itself is called Multiply. It's by Francis Chan, and it takes about 1 hour to do a chapter, and so there's about 25 chapters of it. It's about discipleship. It's called Multiply because it's about discipleship. It's supposed to multiply the disciples of Jesus. I initially got into this. Mark sent an invitation out, a verbal invitation at the congregation during announcements that he was looking to do. He was looking for interest in the congregation for doing this type of discipleship. I came up, approached him. I definitely had an interest in this, and then we started scheduling meetings, weekly meetings, and we meet for about an hour and discuss the chapter that we read that week. I wanted to do it because I wanted to advance my faith. I wanted to learn more about scriptures. I wanted to advance my faith by learning more about scriptures. I wanted to walk, as they say, walk more like Jesus would walk, I guess, act like him, try to live out a more Christian life. So in this discipleship program, and I say there's only 3 of us actually in this program. Each of us meet one-on-one with the pastor, Mark, and we meet for about an hour. So it consists of, we meet weekly, or as much as your schedule will allow, I guess. Sometimes you gotta do every other week. But you do one chapter. You read it. It takes about an hour. It consists of narrative, explaining the scriptures. You read some scripture that it refers you to. It covers a certain subject, such as what the old church looked like, what the new church is supposed to look like, or what the Old Testament teaches, what the New Testament breaks it all down like that into one subject. It takes about an hour of your time during the week, and then you meet with Mark, and that takes about an hour too. Sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more. I enjoy most about it is that I get one-on-one time with Mark. My personality, I think, really fits into that kind of thing. I kind of imagine it this way. If I were an undergrad, a student in college or something like that, and I got a chance to meet one-on-one with a professor, what an opportunity that would be. You know, I'm not in a big class. I'm actually one-on-one. I really benefit from that type of atmosphere, that kind of learning. If there's anyone out there that has an inkling for discipleship, and then I would totally recommend this type of study for someone, because you get an opportunity to be mentored by someone that's more experienced, more knowledgeable, definitely been in the faith, more mature perhaps in the faith than you are. So it's not like the blind leading the blind. You get mentored, and it's also but you have to devote yourself into this too. And then like a lot of things in life, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. And this is certainly one of those type of things. I can see the ways that it has affected me, because I definitely am more excited about the faith. I'm more cognizant of Jesus and all the things that God has done for me, and what's going on around me. I'm not saying that I'm like Apostle Paul and see everything's out there. Certainly not. But I hope to get there someday, and this is one step toward that direction, certainly. And so how has it affected maybe my coworkers? I would hope that they recognize that perhaps I'm more patient. I'm definitely more aware of maybe more sensitive to what things that they're doing. Like if they go off on a temper tantrum or something like that, I can definitely absorb that, because I don't take it personal necessarily. My wife has told me that she's noticed that I've become more on fire for Jesus, is the words that she used, which that sounds great to me. It's working, I think. And then, so she also says that I'm more, as a father, she says, becoming a great father. It's exceeding her, like she couldn't even believe how good a father I am, in the ways that how I'm attentive to the children, and I'm trying to be loving, and how I'm putting family as a priority above a lot of other things. Before, I definitely was involved, stretched too thin, go and think, every direction. I just wanted to stay busy all the time. But now with this, it helps prioritize things, put things in perspective. Things that we liked about this church, to be honest, the first thing I liked about it was the big stained glass window. That's beautiful, and that brought me back a second time. But what kept me coming back was the people here. Pastor Mark especially, he reaches out, he's very welcoming, he was open, he was frank with us about the things that they do at this church and our beliefs. So he laid it all out, and then we realized that they have the same beliefs as us. This is what we want to do. They're biblical based. Now we are definitely going more toward the fundamentals, as Mark would say, that we're going like with discipleship. Jesus said, the Great Commission, go on to make disciples of all nations. So we're going back to that. We're making disciples in this church. That's the thing I like most about it. So.